Freedom from unhappiness. Do you resent doing what you're doing? It may be your job, or you may have agreed to do something and are doing it, but part of you resents and resists it. Are you carrying unspoken resentment towards a person close to you? Do you realize that the energy you thus emanate is so harmful in its effects that you are, in fact, contaminating yourself as well as those around you? Have a good look inside. Is there even the slightest trace of resentment, unwillingness? If there is, observe it on both the mental and emotional levels. What thoughts is your mind creating around this situation? Then look at the emotion, which is the body's reaction to those thoughts. Feel the emotion. Does it feel pleasant or unpleasant? Is it an energy that you would actually choose to have inside you? Do you have a choice? Maybe you are being taken advantage of. Maybe the activity you are engaged in is tedious. Maybe someone close to you is dishonest, irritating, or unconscious. But all this is irrelevant. Whether your thoughts and emotions about these situations are justified or not makes no difference. The fact is that you are resisting what is. You are making the present moment into an enemy. You are creating unhappiness, conflict between the inner and the outer. Your unhappiness is polluting not only your own inner being and those around you, but also the collective human psyche of which you are an inseparable part. The pollution of the planet is only an outward reflection of an inner psychic pollution. Millions of unconscious individuals not taking their responsibility for their inner space. Either stop doing what they are doing, what you are doing, speak to the person concerned, and express fully what you feel, or drop that negativity that your mind has created around the situation and that serves no purpose whatsoever except to strengthen a false sense of self. Recognizing its futility is important. Negativity is never the optimum way of dealing with any situation. In fact, in most cases, it keeps you stuck in it, blocking real change. Anything that is done with negative energy will become contaminated by it and in time give rise to more pain and more unhappiness. Furthermore, any negative inner state is contagious. Unhappiness spreads more easily than a physical distance. Through the law of resonance, it triggers and feeds latent negativity in others unless they are immune, that is, highly conscious. Are you polluting the world or cleaning up the mess? You are responsible for your inner space. Nobody else is. Just as you are responsible for the planet, as within, so without. If humans clear inner pollution, then they will also cease to create outer pollution. How things link is amazing. What we were saying, nearly the same. So please work with the negativity. Negativity हमने बनाई हुई है और वो कहीं ना कहीं हमने वो नेगेटिविटी फियर से एसोसिएट की हुई है. उस फियर को खत्म करो, उसको रिप्लेस तो करो. Replace it with Trust, replace it with fear. Replace the uncertainty, the negativity with trust, with faith. How can we drop negativity as you suggest? By dropping it, how you drop a piece of hot coal that you are holding in your hand. How do you drop some heavy and useless baggage that you are carrying? By recognizing that you don't want to suffer the pain or carry the burden anymore and then letting go of it. Deep unconsciousness, such as the pain body, or other deep pain, such as the loss of a loved one, usually needs to be transmuted through acceptance combined with the light of your presence, your sustained attention. Many patterns in ordinary unconsciousness, on the other hand, can simply be dropped once you know that you don't want them and don't need them anymore. Once you realize that you have a choice, then you are not just a bundle of conditioned reflexes. All this implies that you are able to access the power of now. Without it, you have no choice. If you call some emotions negative, aren't you creating a mental polarity of good and bad, as you explained earlier? No. The polarity was created at an earlier stage when your mind judged the present moment as bad. This judgment then created the negative emotion. But if you call some emotions negative, aren't you really saying that they shouldn't be there, that it's not okay to have these emotions? My understanding is that we should give ourselves permission to have whatever feelings come up rather than judge them as bad or say that we shouldn't have them. It's okay to feel resentful. It's okay to be angry, irritated, moody, or whatever. Otherwise, we get into repression, inner conflict, or denial. Everything is okay as it is. Of course, once a mind pattern, an emotion, or a reaction is there, accept it. You were not conscious enough to have a choice in the matter. That's not a judgment, just a fact. If you had a choice or realize that you do have a choice, would you choose suffering or joy, ease or unease, peace or conflict? Would you choose a thought or feeling that cuts you off from your natural state of well being, the joy of life within? Any such feeling I call negative, which simply means bad, not in the sense that you shouldn't have done that, but just plain factual bad, like feeling sick in the stomach. How is it possible that humans killed in excess of 100 million fellow humans in the 20th century alone? Humans inflicting pain of such magnitude on one another is beyond anything you can imagine. And that's not taking into account the mental, emotional, and physical violence, the torture, pain, and cruelty they continue to inflict on each other as well as on other sentient beings on a daily basis. Do they act in this way because they are in touch with their natural state, the joy of life within? Of course not. Only people who are in a deeply negative state, who feel very bad indeed, would create such a reality as a reflection of how they feel. Now they are engaged in destroying nature and planet that sustains them. Unbelievable, but true. Humans are a dangerously insane and a very sick species. That's not a judgment, it's a fact. It is also a fact that the sanity is there underneath the madness. Healing and redemption are available right now. Coming back specifically to what you said, it is certainly true when you accept your resentment, moodiness, anger, and so on. You are no longer forced to act them out blindly. and you are less likely to project them onto others. But I wonder if you're not deceiving yourself when you have been practicing acceptance for a while, as you have. There comes a point when you need to go on to the next stage where those negative emotions are not just created anymore. If you don't, your acceptance just becomes a mental label that allows your ego to continue to indulge in unhappiness and so strengthen its sense of separation from other people, your surroundings, your here and now. As you know, separation is the basis for the ego's sense of identity. True acceptance would transmute those feelings at once. And if you really knew deeply that everything is okay as you put it, and which of course is true, then would you have those negative feelings in the first place? Without judgment, without resistance to what is, they would not arise. I repeat this beautiful line: without judgment, without resistance to what is, they would not arise. You have an idea in your mind that everything is okay, but deep down, you don't really believe it. And so the old mental, emotional patterns of resistance are still in place. That's what makes you feel bad. So ultimately क्या हो रहा है? Are we choosing these experiences then? Because जो भी हमारे साथ हो रहा है, लेबल तो हम ही लगा रहे हैं उसको. ये गुड है, ये बैड है, ये मेरे साथ हो रहा है, ये उसके साथ हो रहा है. Ultimately it is just an experience, but our connection with it, or our judgment towards it, or our resistance towards what is actually creating that feeling inside of us that this is not good, or this is bad, or this is good. So जो reality है, जो fact है, it is as it is. But जो मेरा जैक है, जो मेरा माइंड है, वो उसको जज कर रहा है, उसमें कोई एक्सपेक्टेशन ढूंढ रहा है, उसको क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है या उसको कंपेयर कर रहा है. अगर हमने वो एक्सपीरियंस चूज किया है, तो हमने बुरा क्यों चूज किया? Why did we choose this? Is it possible that you choose something that is bad for you, something that is painful for you? No. It is only the mind that is playing the projection game with you. It's unbelievable, but true. That's true reality. It is what it is. If it is a situation, it is a situation. You are uncomfortable in it. That's your mind. That's the jack at play. The situation is as it is.
So what about the karma theory that if you've done something, then somebody is doing it to you. Now you don't remember your own thing, but it's coming back to you because in some kisi janam mein, the karmic law. Then that also things happen when we accept that it is because maybe which karmic hoga, right? Then then that means we manifest that also because we know we have to.
Then you are resisting your karma, na? मैंने अगर किसी सिचुएशन को लेबल लगा दिया, उसको जज करना शुरू कर दिया, देयर इज अ रेजिस्टेंस गोइंग ऑन ना. बट इट इज एज इट इज. मेरे साथ होना था, हो गया. मेरे को दर्द हुई, हो गया.
बट कर्मा तो क्रिएट होता रहता है ना. कर्मा गेट्स क्रिएटेड अनलेस यू जस्ट फिनिश इट देयर एंड यू लेट गो एंड फॉरगिव एंड forget and move on. You keep creating karma.
कर्मा कैसे क्रिएट होगा?
Because it's a cycle. उसने ऐसा किया, मैंने वैसा किया, फिर मैंने दोबारा ठीक किया, पर उसने फिर दोबारा कर दिया, तो वो तो साइकिल है. वो तो
एक सेकेंड, वो तो
जजमेंट की वजह से ही
अगर आप अनकॉन्शियसली रह के कर रहे हो तो डेफिनेटली कर्मा क्रिएट होगा.
अनकॉन्शियस की बात ही कर रही हूँ, क्योंकि अनकॉन्शियस की बात कर रही हूँ. जो तो कॉन्शियस होगा वो तो वहीं खत्म कर देगा कर्मा को.
तो हम यहाँ क्या करने आए हैं? कॉन्शियस करने आए हैं ना अपने आप को. तो फिर हम अनकॉन्शियस की बात क्यों कर रहे हैं?
Right.
Where do we want to go? Where do we want to be?
Towards consciousness, pure
Yes.
consciousness.
So it's very clear now from this insight of in this book that if you are unconscious, then yes, the karma cycle will keep on going. आपको पता भी नहीं लगेगा आप क्या करी जा रहे हो.
So you say that you keep, then that also means that if you're unconscious, I'm just trying to understand it in my own
Yeah,
mind. So when you're, so that means most of the actions which are quite unconscious, for example, I would also say most of the time it's through the unconscious state, you are attracting the similar patterns again and again to yourself. Similar kind of incidences are happening to you again and again because you've not been conscious, right? Is that
because
my
you've not
correct
been conscious
clarity?
for the lesson. Na?
Not
See,
conscious.
anything that is a pattern in your life, that's the first thing to be at an, high alert ki it's a pattern that is happening in my life. So patterns karma के साथ strongly linked होते हैं और patterns को heal करना is more easy because उसमें आपको खाली conscious होना है कि क्यों हो रहा है भाई. Not necessary you need to know what you did in the past. Not necessary. You can just accept कि ये मेरे साथ हो रहा है. I believe there has been something which has happened by me. Whatever is it, I am here to let go, to settle it and not take it further. Please give me the courage. Please give me the guidance. You will get.
Correct, because like I remember doing a prayer at the center when we used to do that, when we hand over to the gurus and we say that we ask for forgiveness and we forgive intentionally or unintentionally where we might have created a karma, right? So intentionally when we know what we are doing and unintentionally when unconsciously we create something.
I'll tell you, forgiveness, if we are giving forgiveness, it's from the premise of ego. We can't forgive anybody. We can only seek forgiveness. So if we say, "No, I forgive you," that's the ego at play. We are nobody to, forgive anybody. We
Right.
can
I
only
meant
seek forgiveness.
I meant in terms of a creation of the karma when we say intentionally or unintentionally, when we are unconscious and we create something and then it keeps repeating in our space.
वो तो जब तक लेसन लर्न नहीं है वो खत्म नहीं होगा. I mean, if it happens, you're able to settle it off in this life, good enough. नहीं तो next life.
But life is full of different people, right? You're not alone, walking alone, physically speaking. So there are people in your space and you're handling things, situations, different point of views, opinions, like GAECC, whatever we call it. So then in that situation, even if you're trying to cut your karma and just be, sometimes you do get drawn into those situations where you then become unconscious. So hence the journey of being conscious is important, right? If
No.
we are trying.
Why is it important?
No, to be conscious at all times, I meant, for yourself.
मैं समझ नहीं पाया हूँ, but I'll try to explain it further जितना मुझे आपका question समझ आया है. See, at the end of the day, जो कर्म है वो होगा. If you are here see, everybody is here for some karma story. अगर नहीं होती तो we would have been not on planet of Earth. Let's be very clear. Okay, we are here because को कांड किया हुआ है, को कर्मा कांड चल रहा है. हमें नहीं पता वो क्या है. Okay, so we can just ask for guidance, and if it's a pattern in your life, definitely there is something at play. There will be a lot of times where you will not be in the conscious mode. You will be drawn into the unconscious. That's the whole practice. So ultimately, we need to be conscious beings, being consciously aware of what is happening. Then only if we are consciously aware, we are able to recognize the patterns जो हमारे साथ हो रहे हैं. We are able to recognize everything. and then get a deeper understanding and a deeper meaning to what exactly is it trying to say. You know, when you read a nice book, we were taught in school, read between the lines. That is the lesson. और वो practice से आता है. So if you just read a line and it's a good knowledge, बड़ा अच्छा लगेगा. You know, it's like you're enjoying, the ego is enjoying, यार बड़ी अच्छी knowledge आ गई. But once you practice it, then you start realizing and then you start reading in between the lines. So as I've shared it earlier, I'm sharing it again. One of the major reasons why people like to, share knowledge is deep down, their own practice gets stronger. So, we have these big gurus having satsangs of 1 lakh people, 10 lakh people. They're actually doing that. सदगुरु आ गए हमारे. I know you, Sadhguru. Chal. So, Mother, this is a change I see in myself. This thing would have happened a year back. मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा था, गुस्सा. And I've done it with the kids. I've actually done it with the kids. यार मैं इतनी important meditation में बैठा हूँ, ये क्यों आ गए? Then I realized कि भैया, they are walking into my space. They need it more than somebody else. That's why they're walking. Why only at this time he walks? Or whatever time he walks. Why only that? Why not 2 minutes, 2 minutes पहले या 2 minutes बाद? Ab he's walking into my space. What do I do? That matters. How that situation, life random aati hai. It's like a boomerang, it keeps hitting you randomly. How you handle it, that's the key. If you're in the now, you're just enjoying everything. Pain can also be enjoyable. यार ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि pain enjoyable नहीं होती. But yeah, I don't like to use that word. But yeah, it's an experience. मैं डांट सकता हूँ. मेरे पास option है. I can get angry. I can switch off my camera. Can switch off my mic and tell him to go. Just ask Ruchi, नहीं जबरदस्ती लेके जाओ, अभी लेके जाओ. No, let it be. क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है? Everybody has a right to live the way they want to live. Who are we to decide something for somebody else? Let them be. As a parent, you need to guide them. Whatever is your relationship responsibility, you do that. Agreed. But har ek situation mein, you will be tested. And that's the life's boomerang. Again and again and again. And if you accept it as it is, without any judgment, without any expectation, without any criticism or without any comparison, chill. That's the space you want to be, na? यार सिचुएशन जो भी आ रही है वो हमारी लाइफ में आ रही है, उसको देख कौन रहा है, उसको मीनिंग कौन दे रहा है? कोई पड़ोसी नहीं दे रहा है. ये जो बंदा इंसान जो इसको सुन रहा है ना, वही दे रहा है, वही रिएक्ट कर रहा है, वही रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, वही खुश हो रहा है, वही डांट रहा है. There's nothing in the outside world. That's okay too. Are you defending your right to be unconscious, your right to suffer? Don't worry, nobody is going to take that away from you. Once you realize that a certain kind of food makes you sick, would you carry on eating that food and keep asserting that it is okay to be sick? Wherever you are, be there totally. Can you give some more examples of ordinary unconsciousness? See, if you can catch yourself complaining in either speech or thought about a situation you find yourself in, what other people do or say, your surroundings, your life situation, even the weather. To complain is always non acceptance of what is. So Eckhart Tolle acknowledges one of our jacks. He is acknowledged two of our jacks. So judgment and complaint to acknowledge ho gaya.
Correct.
It invariably carries an unconscious negative charge. When you complain, you make yourself into a victim. When you speak out, you are in power. So change the situation by taking action or by speaking out if necessary or possible. Leave the situation or accept it. All else is madness. Ordinary unconsciousness is always linked in some way with denial of the now. The now, of course, also implies the here. Are you resisting your here and now? Some people would always rather be somewhere else. Their here is never good enough. Through self observation, find out if that is the case in your life. Whether you are, wherever you are, be there totally. If you find your here and now intolerable and it makes you unhappy, you have three options. Number one, remove yourself from the situation, change it, or accept it totally. If you want to take responsibility for your life, you must choose one of these three options and you must choose now. Then accept the consequences, no excuses, no negativity, no psychic pollution. Keep your inner space clear. If you take any action, leaving or changing your situation, drop the negativity first, if at all possible. Action arising out of insight into what is required is more effective than action arising out of negativity. Any action is often better than no action, especially if you have been stuck in an unhappy situation for a long time. If this is a mistake, at least you learn something, in which case it's no longer a mistake. If you remain stuck, you learn nothing. Is fear preventing you from taking action? Acknowledge the fear. Watch it. Take your attention into it. Be fully present with it. Doing so cuts the link between fear and your thinking. Don't let the fear rise up into your mind. Use the power of now. Fear cannot prevail against it. If there is truly nothing you can do to change your here and now, and you can't remove yourself from the situation, then accept you are here and now totally by dropping all inner resistance. The false, unhappy self that loves feeling miserable, resentful, or sorry for itself can no longer survive. This is called surrender. Surrender is not weakness, there is greater strength in it. Only a surrendered person has spiritual power. Through surrender, you will be free internally of the situations. You may then find that the situation changes without any effort on your part. In any case, you are free. Or is there something that you should be doing but are not doing it? Get up and do it now. Alternatively, completely accept your inactivity, laziness, or passivity at this moment, if that is your choice. Go into it fully, enjoy it. Be as lazy or inactive as you can. If you go into it fully and consciously, you will soon come out of it, or maybe you won't. Either way, there is no inner conflict, no resistance, no negativity. Are you stressed? Are you so busy getting to the future that the present is reduced to a means of getting there? Stress is caused by being here but wanting to be there, or being in the present but wanting to be in the future. It's a split that tears you apart inside. To create and live with such an inner split is insane. The fact that everyone else is doing it doesn't make it any less insane. If you have to, you can move fast, work fast, or even run without projecting yourself into the future and without resisting the present. As you move, work, run, do it totally. Enjoy the flow of energy, the high energy of that moment. Now you are no longer stressed, no longer splitting yourself into just moving, running, working, and enjoying it. Or you can drop the whole thing and sit on a park bench. But when you do, watch your mind. It may say you should be working, you are wasting time. Observe the mind, smile at it. Does the past take up great deal of your attention? Do you frequently talk and think about it, either positively or negatively? The great thing that you have achieved, your adventures or experiences, or your victim story, and the dreadful things that were done to you, or maybe you did to someone else. Are your thought processes creating guilt, pride, resentment, anger, regret, or self pity? Then you are not only reinforcing a false sense of self, but also helping to accelerate your body's aging process by creating an accumulation of past in your psyche. Verify this for yourself by observing those around you who have a strong tendency to hold on to the past. Die to the past every moment. You don't need it. Only refer to it when it is absolutely relevant to the present. Feel the power of this moment and the fullness of being. Feel your presence. Be in the now.